Just about minutes ago, I finished a styrofoam drawing of the Marvel character, the Punisher, for my dad. Although, I'm not entirely sure if the Punisher started out as a Marvel character. I think maybe the Punisher was somehow independent and then later became a Marvel character. A while back, my dad requested that I make a styrofoam drawing of the Punisher. I started the serious work on it for today. That led to it being finished at roughly 9:42 p.m. And Dad got these garlic knots at Salvatore's. He said he'd be home at 5:30 p.m. But he ended up going to Salvatore's after work. I have no idea if he was invited by his friends or he happened to bump into his friends at Salvatore's, but that's what happened. I was thinking of making a slideshow video of most of my styrofoam block drawings from the oldest to the most recent. There's a few styrofoams that don't have the engraving, which is what I call it when typically either on the bottom or the back I write the date down to the nearest minute of when I fully finished a styrofoam drawing, which these days I add an extra minute to account for the engraving itself typically. Those garlic knots were pretty good. I believe Dad got them because I specifically requested that he get me something from Salvatore's. I found out he was at Salvatore's when I called him at roughly somewhere between 6:30 p.m. and 7 p.m., which I think was roughly the time in which I ended up finding out that one of my old graduation videos for my high school graduation from 2017 got taken down due to a copyright claim. It came as a shock to me because I tend to not check my Gmail account that much. And as it turns out, I didn't receive a prior notification from the copyright holder, which I believe is the Universal Music Group. Thing is, usually in these cases, It's an audio claim. With these sort of cases, I typically do nothing. I don't aggressively counter copyright claims. And in regards to I'm fine with letting copyright holders monetize on my videos, as my channel is currently demonetized due to copyright concerns, in particular reusing others' content without adding significant value to it. The thing is, in most of those cases, it's because public places play music. I can't exactly ask that they not play music just because I'm filming myself eat at all these different unfranchised places as part of my style of vlogging. Back when I used to go to college, for the most part, they would play music through the radio, and I couldn't exactly ask them not to play music for that either. In the case of a video being entirely blocked because of an audio copyright claim, I can remove the copyrighted music. Or as I found I could do today, replace it with copyright-free music YouTube has. The copyright strike I got led to me going through copyright school, and within minutes of me finding out about this copyright strike that occurred on May 22nd, I wasn't really notified of it until today when I went to my Manage Videos tab in order to find the pre-summer SpongeBob title cards video. I couldn't find through a regular search on my channel because it has a copyright claim by Viacom, because it consists of a video of every single title card of the TV show SpongeBob SquarePants up to a certain point. It's from 2015. And I was searching for that video because I was thinking of that old using that old In It to Win It music that I couldn't find by simply searching In It to Win It under the YouTube search bar. Obviously, learning that I had gotten a copyright strike on the 26th of May. For the record, it occurred on the 26th. It created some stress for me because the video got deleted. And I'm trying to handle this as responsibly as possible. I immediately contacted the email address I was given for the copyright holder that YouTube provided to me. Trying to be as formal and as grammarly correct as possible. Yeah, this might be the first time I've used Grammarly in a truly professional setting if you don't count all the times I used Grammarly for my college assignments. Currently here, I'm planning on saving this city expansion for something. I'm hoping to, from what I heard when this is the first time in a while I've kept Elvenar running in the background ever since I started playing Stronghold Kingdoms, of which I'm currently at this state, and of which I need to build the Dancing Bear Entertainment Building. It'll take about an hour thanks to a strategy card I'm currently playing, which I'll need in order, I feel now that I need in order to complete this quest. At first I thought that I could complete it without playing any strategy cards, but after some time, I think something like it took roughly 8 hours for me to build 3 village buildings. I got cold feet and used some strategy cards, one known as the night working strategy card, in which a building under construction is instantly completed. And then I used it as soon as I started an entirely new building. And then after a building was instantly completed, I used the strategy card that's currently in effect for completing constructed buildings faster for a temporary time. I started the quest when I first woke up at around 11 in the morning. And I added the music into the 5th raw video file, as well as adding in as well as starting work on the 6th raw video file for the 99th Dan Hamming, which will likely be the last one. I'm thinking I've currently got the 5th raw video file to roughly 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and for the scene involving Ginger and Kent right next to Kate, I ended up settling on using the outside ambient sound effects. And for the scene involving the Sarah in the bathroom, I decided to use music from someone's parody of Everywhere at the End of Time to musically depict the experience of depression by Nubex animator, who I'm thinking may be from Brazil due to the use of the Portuguese language. I in particular used part of stage 4, which seems to sample Subart by Av Maria, which I believe is in the public domain since it was composed in 1828, but that sampling still belongs to Nubex animator, since obviously he did some work in changing up the sample to create something different that I decided to use for this brief scene. The part I recorded I took from the middle rather than the beginning, because then throughout that depression version, Everywhere at the End of Time video is a bit bizarre. It features sound effects of, I believe, babies crying or laughing, and also crowd laughter. And then the final stage ended up being a shepherd tone, which is an audio illusion, in which a tone seems to continually increase or decrease in pitch when it doesn't in reality. At least, that was according to a comment someone posted on the video. which led to me, I believe today, skipping ahead to that final stage without listening to the entirety of stage 5 or the Deep Depression track, because it's essentially a drone music track I think maybe the fact that it's a sort of parody inspired by Everywhere at the End of Time rather than it being Everywhere at the End of Time had something to do with that sort of decision. Anyway, this copyright strike, I'm hoping I'll be able to get the 5th My Graduation Party video back up. I'm not even able to view it, or I haven't even been told what music created the copyright concern. I'm currently in the middle of replacing some copyright music because I went through all my videos that have copyright claims on them because of this copyright strike. Led to me thinking quite a bit on copyright and watching some YouTube videos on copyright. I could submit a counter notification arguing fair use, but I'm not entirely sure if it would really fall under that because I'm not reacting to that music, and I didn't really criticize it, but most likely it was just playing while I was filming. But I would have been perfectly willing to replace that music if that is what the copyright holder wanted. But I wasn't contacted prior. I wasn't given the usual content ID notification. I'm currently in the process of hoping to hear back from the copyright holder in the near future to hear about what copyrighted content was used in the video, and, in my own words, to try and reach a sort of compromise. Maybe it'll involve the video being monetized by them, or maybe it'll involve me replacing the music with one of YouTube's copyright-free music. Either of these I'm perfectly willing to do. pretty rare for me to have any issues with copyright, and even though I oddly feel a sense of deja vu that I went through copyright school on YouTube before, which just involves watching a roughly 4 to 5 minute Happy Tree Friends video on YouTube's copyright system and answering 4 questions on them, which I all got correct after some careful thinking and being careful to watch the video in its entirety on copyright school. I felt some apprehension because maybe copyright school made me think that it was going to be some kind of lengthier process involving watching videos for hours and making written responses, I'm guessing I thought in my mind. But no, it just ended up being that short process. The copyright strike expires on the 24th of August. I'm not entirely sure on how many videos feature copyrighted material but wasn't matched with YouTube's content ID system. Excuse me, but it typically involves music. Which I'm always willing to replace if it'll mean keeping the video up for people to see on my YouTube channel. At the moment, I'm not really asking for the copyright strike to be removed. I'm just kind of wondering what copyrighted material the video featured, because as it turns out, it was some 31-minute video, and I hadn't viewed it in years since I don't typically rewatch my own YouTube videos typically, but that's what ended up happening. I spent some time a bit of time trying to clean up the spare room at my dad's apartment unit, which involved picking up some bottles. If I recall, I may have stayed up until roughly 5 in the morning, so my current thought is maybe to go to bed at 4:45 in the morning in order to gradually get back on a better sleep schedule, since if you try to go to bed earlier by too much, there won't be enough sleep pressure, so to speak, in order for you to fall asleep. Or if you do fall asleep, then you'll only stay asleep for maybe an hour and a half, or maybe just 5 hours, but either way, it won't be what's considered an adequate amount of sleep that you can do over and over again without you ending up feeling tired or falling asleep in the afternoon and whatnot. I didn't really move into Dad's room until roughly 4 p.m. if I'm remembering correctly. I had the Singapore meal, breakfast, at roughly somewhere between 11 and noon. 11 in the morning and noon. And I had the muffin and Jack Link's meal with an energy drink at roughly 3 p.m., according to my recollection. Excuse me. This is where I'm at currently in regards to side quests. I completed some side quests, and it seems our military advisor was spooked by the orcs. The fact that they're big and strong and that they smashed some stuff, apparently. I recruited some. They had me recruit some tridents at the barracks, and then the next one had me activate a squad-sized technology that I had already completed prior to that side quest popping up, so I didn't have to do anything for that particular side quest.